If it's not hidden fees and higher fares, if it's not higher costs to check a bag, long delays, and canceled flights, it's yet another stealth airfare ripoff. This time it comes in the form of exponentially higher costs for buying a multi-city trip ticket when those flights can be purchased for far less money when purchased individually. If you want to fly, let me get my bearings here together. Yeah. If you want to fly from Newark to Los Angeles to San Francisco and back, and you purchase a single round-trip ticket, as most people do, it costs $1,311. But if you book the same itinerary individually with 3 one-way tickets, Newark to LA would cost $311, LA to San Francisco would cost just $72, and San Francisco back to New York would cost $209 for a total of $592. Over $700 less for the same set of destinations. That makes no sense. You're riding the same plane with the same crew, using the same amount of jet fuel, even sitting maybe in the same seat. It shouldn't cost hundreds of dollars more. The problem is that very few of us book our trips that way, and the airlines know it, and they take full advantage of it. That's why some of the large airlines have stopped allowing consumers to purchase non-refundable tickets for a multi-city trip. Now, they only advertise on their websites fully refundable tickets for multi-city trips, which are much more expensive. On the surface, fully refundable tickets sound like a good idea until you see the price. But the one-way tickets, the airlines give you a choice whether you think the cost is worth it. For multi-city trips, you are forced to pay a mandatory hidden fee for a service you probably don't even need. Every year, 37 million travelers go through Newark International Airport, and 650 million more through the airports nationwide. They're fighting a battle against big airlines who are very well equipped to lobby Congress so they don't have to let consumers know the real cost of airline tickets. I want to continue to work to level the playing field for every consumer, vacationer, businessman or woman who plans a trip to multiple cities and is getting ripped off by the airlines. What amazes me is that the report shows that each of the large airlines coincidentally made the same pricing change last month. They all seem to have all of a sudden, all of them decided to do this last month. It seems to me that the nation's big airlines are working in concert to deceive and cheat the flying public. Their customers will unwittingly become victims of another airline pricing scheme, with the carriers failing to inform consumers that lower multiple city fares are available if you book each leg of your trip individually. We need to correct it. We need to rein in the excesses and stop what, in my view, would be considered collusion. What is most extraordinary to me is that the airlines are unapologetic. According to published reports, a spokesman for American Airlines actually admitted that the change in the fare structure was made in mid-March to prevent consumers from paying fares that are lower than what American wanted to charge for certain markets. He attempted to step back by saying that the new pricing rule was, and I quote, broader in some cases than we wanted it to be. And American has since made some changes. United had a similar explanation. Delta had no comment. But all of us, as consumers, all of us who are held captive by the airlines in this day and age of smaller seats and higher fares, have a definitive comment. No more. No more. I have written a letter to the Secretary of Transportation, Anthony Fox, asking him to investigate this new scheme under the department's authority to regulate what are known as unfair and deceptive practices. I plan on following through on my letter to Secretary Fox because we as consumers are fed up with an airline industry blinded in the pursuit of higher profits that will try any dollar-driven gimmick to make air travel less comfortable and more expensive every day. And we and consumers can no longer take it. Airline flying is no longer simply a question of leisure or travel. It is increasingly a reality of business, of sending sales forces out in the marketplace, of executives visiting with their customers, of families being reunited, of people traveling to a hospital outside of their state because of some specialty treatment. This is no longer simply luxury travel or vacation travel. This is an increasing mode of necessity of life. And we need to make it as fair, transparent, open as possible, and to have fares that are reasonable, not just because the airline industry can deceive and get away with it. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.